Today, we continue our journey around the globe, and we're doing South Africa. The roots of Bobotie go back to the 17th century, when Dutch settlers in the Cape brought in slaves and workers from Indonesia and India. Along with them came recipes. Over time, those ideas mixed with European techniques and local African ingredients. The result was a fusion of flavour: curry powder, turmeric, and cinnamon from Asia, soaked bread and custard from Europe, and chutney, raisins, and nuts that were widely used in South Africa. And this is how it's made. Right, so we're going to start by finely chopping this onion. There we go, that is finely chopped. So we're going to get our pan at a medium-high heat with a little bit of canola oil. Also, what I'm going to do is just get the wee spice mix together. And we're going to start that off with a little bit of mild curry powder, 2 teaspoons of that, half a teaspoon of ground turmeric, a teaspoon of cumin, and also a teaspoon of ground coriander. I'll give that a wee bit of a mix up. Right, so we'll start off by sauteing up some garlic. Get our onion in there as well. Right, so while that's going as well, what we are gonna do is grab a bowl and put 2 slices of white bread in there, and we're gonna soak that bread in half a cup of milk. With the onions and garlic being at this point, we'll chuck in our wee spice mix we just made and toast that up for about 30 seconds-ish. Now we want to add our 500 grams of beef mince, and we'll start to break that up. And we'll let that start to brown up. So now what we want to do is we want to squeeze the milk back out of the bread. Now we want to add the bread and mash it into the dish, which I'm not really sure actually if I'm mashing that in properly. But so now we want to start to add all our other elements. So we have a capsicum and apricot chutney, which we're going to be putting 2 tablespoons of that into here. We also want to do 1 tablespoon of, it said vinegar or lemon juice, but I'm just going to do a wee bit of white wine vinegar. It's also the time to add a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and also, hello Miss Pig, and we'll give that a mix. Also actually, 1 little pack of raisins. Right, so now we're letting that simmer for 5 minutes, just like that. I will just give our baking tray we're going to be using a quick spray, just a little bit of canola. Right, so we've let that simmer for a bit. What we'll do is we'll just transfer our meat mixture over to our baking tray barrier to make sure that once we get that sauce on there, it's not going anywhere. Also, now that we're done with the meat, we'll get our oven onto 180 fan forced. So now it is time for the custard, which I think what we'll do is we'll just add a little bit more milk back in there, because I think we need 250 milk. Also want to put 2 eggs in there, and then we want to give that a mix. We also just want to add a little pinch of salt. Right, so let's tip this in, I suppose. I don't think my barrier is working very well. Right. Okay, I think we need to move to plan B, which I don't know what plan B is. Probably should have just used this one from the beginning, to be fair. You know, you live, you learn. And then we'll just be chucking this in the oven for 30 to 40 minutes, I think. I think it's pretty much just until the top of this sets. And here we have the finished Bobotie. Give it a go. It's got nice flavour. It's quite nice because you get the, or at least in that bite, I got the savoury flavour and then just a wee bit of that fruity chutney coming through towards the end. And then obviously the top of it has a nice, like, soft, eggy texture. That's probably the best one I've made so far, I think. Since now we've done 3 of these videos, we finally have the start of our podium of the best national dish. I'm going to score this a 7.8, which will put it up in the number 1 spot. Number 2 will be the curry, and then after that will be the Greek one, but that's just because it was a mission. This definitely takes the cake. See you next time.